Hi guys. So welcome to Rosebud Thorn. Today we're talking Rosebud Thorn, June 30th to July 13th.
Hmm.
Now we have started to get back to doing these bi-weekly versus weekly just because we're getting less of them in and we want to give you guys more content
Yeah.
when we're getting around to doing this. So we've had a day doing some fun stuff and we thought, hey, let's jump on and let's tackle this. All right. So without further ado, Kayla, not me, okay, another Kayla, says her Rose having a good week. I think I got my first workout in and then swam just over a kilometer. But I have brought my lunch all week, still having a hard time waking up early, but she's doing it. Thorn, feeling very tired this week. Been difficult getting to my workouts, but once in there, I'm good. And you know what? Let's be honest. I think that's for most people. We like excuses when it comes to workouts, and then when we start doing them, we're like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Part of the feeling tired in this last week, because this was for this previous week, when we are in 37-degree weather, when we're anything over that 25-30 mark, really focusing on hydration, because even when we don't realize it, lots of times we are not as hydrated as we would normally be. So really paying attention to how much water we are getting in as that temperature gets up, and just generally day to day as well, making sure that we are getting enough water in. Because again, if our body is looking for water, we are wasting energy on that instead of on the task at hand. So just keep up on your hydration, people. And then I have a myriad of other questions that I could go with this. What's your average bedtime look like? How's your sleep quality been? What does our routine look like before bedtime? So there's lots that goes into when we are noticing we're feeling tired that could be asked. So if you want a little bit more help with that, definitely reach out with some of those specifics for us and we can go over that. But for general rule of thumb for everybody, if your bedtime routine is looking good, hydration is looking good, then we start to look at where our stress levels are at throughout the day. And with those heightened cortisol levels, if we are finding that whether work or life has us more stressed than usual, typically we recover a little less adequately. So that can affect our stress or our energy levels as well.
100%. And I was going to say even food levels. So, I find a lot of people, they don't want to eat as much when it is hot outside. So if that is the case and you're noticing, hey, I'm just eating less, that might be part of the reason why energy levels are a little bit lower too, because especially if your body is used to a constant supply of glucose in its bloodstream to utilize for energy, and then all of a sudden it's not getting that on a consistent basis, it's having to work a little bit harder on a cellular level to begin to create energy, right? So think of your body as wanting to be the most efficient it possibly can be. And so the way in which you fuel your body and it creates energy is usually its main easiest route. And as we change maybe our eating patterns or maybe the where our fuel source is coming from, so less carbohydrates, more fats, those kinds of things, will definitely switch up how the cells begin to interact and how our mitochondria begin to produce energy without getting too nerdy.
Okay, next up we got Ashley. Ashley's Rose this week. Excited for new workouts and trying out the gym with new equipment. That's awesome. I love when people get excited and they are starting to get ready to step into a gym from the home workouts. So awesome job on that, Ash. Bud this week getting back on track after my holiday in terms of nutrition, water, and workouts. I totally get that. I think a lot of people will resonate with that, considering it is that season for a lot of people. So exactly that, bouncing back to routine and finding that routine, and then just again enjoying yourself when you do have your vacations, but then getting yourself back into your routine so that you can get back on your goals is important. So awesome work there. And Thorn, this dang heat. I'm getting way less movement because I just want to stay inside. 10 degrees less would be perfect.
I don't agree.
What I say to everybody, and it's funny because I had this conversation in spin class this week. If you complain about the heat, you sure as hell better not complain about the cold in the winter. You don't get to complain about all seasons, one or the other. No, I can't change the weather. For everybody though, when we are looking at these heat waves, when we are looking at summer and it being warmer, again, same thing that we said for Kayla, is just really paying attention to those hydration levels, doing what we can to mitigate the time in direct sun. Unless you are a lizard like Kayla and I, we love the direct sun. I mean, it loves me, burns me, but in the same breath, it's for something I enjoy. So finding that happy ground for yourself and then just working on it.
All right, we got Ty. Ty says, is Rose meeting a more intense workout schedule? Bud getting used to these apps and tracking food? And Thorn, a raging case of pink eye. He's got the stink eye.
There's nothing I can do with your pink eye there, brother.
I can understand how that would be a thorn in most people.
100%. Yeah, so as far as the other two, that's awesome. I love that the workout schedule is about to get a little more intense this week. Should be a lot of fun. And then
sir, a little
apps are always take a little bit to get used to. For everybody who's using our app, we do have the lessons right at the start that kind of give you breakdowns on cheats or hacks that you could use. Specifically for like tracking food, like our chronometer, when we use chronometer, just cheats to make that a little bit easier for you. And if anybody listening to this needs a little bit more help with the apps, definitely reach out. We can record a little video that might help you. We've done that for a few clients. So let us know. We'll definitely help.
Yes. Okay, Melissa.
You want this one or me? Okay. Melissa's rose this week. When I started this weight loss journey at the end of March, I weighed 255. I am now 7 pounds away from being under 200 pounds. That is absolutely amazing.
Amazing job, Melissa.
First time since 2015. Hell yes. This is the most incredible feeling, and I'm motivated more than ever to achieve this goal, and I'm doing it by staying consistent with my calories and movement. I'm not taking any shortcuts to get there, letting my hard work and general care of my body get me there, and letting it happen as it happens. That's awesome. I love that you said letting it happen as it happens, because there are so many people that try and force the change. And when we try and force it, sometimes we hit those walls, and then that can be really defeating.
Mm-hmm.
But when we kind of surrender to the process, allow what is meant to be, and we see that success, it's so amazing. So awesome job there. Bud this week was, I've been strongly focusing on my breathing as of late. Yeah, you have. We've been talking about that. Not only during my workouts, but throughout the day. I find myself coming back to my breath regularly and taking note of reeling it back in as soon as I realize I'm slipping and doing the mouth breathing again. Yes. I wish this would come naturally, but unless I'm thinking about it, I seem to resort back to the old ways. 100%. It takes a long time to get used to it. I've seen the improvement proper breathing brings into my workouts, and I think I'm making progress, but this will be a tough habit to crack. 100% it is. I'm in the same boat. I think most of the athletes I work with would tell you the same thing. Unless we are focusing on that breath, it's easy to fall back in old habits. But what I will say is the more you practice it, just like any good skill, the better you're going to get at it, the more subconscious it starts to happen. So awesome work on that. If you want a hack to be able to really start to take a big impact on somebody who breathes through their mouth, as crazy as this sounds, put a piece of tape over your mouth at night. It forces you to breathe through your nose. And when you do it at night, it becomes more natural during the day. So it's a really good hack to kind of cheat it, right? So just honestly, you don't have to put like a full piece of tape over your mouth. You can, but realistically, it's just putting a piece of tape over the center of your lips just to hold that shut overnight. And then it forces you to do nasal breathing, and you can actually see really big improvements on that. I've helped quite a few people break the mouth breathing with that one.
I have not broken it, so kudos to you for trying. I give up.
It was like, I don't need this extra performance. Let's go.
I have no goal of performance. We're good.
Honesty, it's a beautiful thing.
Willow says Rose.
Oh, and sorry. The reason I didn't give Melissa's thorn is because there wasn't one.
There was no thorn. Yeah, exactly.
My girl, killing it.
Willow says Rose eating more food, moving a lot, and life is good. But I'm working on going back to my lessons and really just taking it one step at a time instead of trying to rush to the end, in quotes, because it's more of a metaphorical end and really doesn't really.
The end doesn't really exist.
If I could only get it out of my mouth. Sorry, my reading is deplorable. Thorn, nothing to complain about. I will get where I want to go. I love the positive mindset in this. It's like, I'm not going to rush it. It's coming. I'm going to get there. I got to get, everything situated before I get there.
Well, very similar to Melissa's, right? It's like, I don't want to force it. We're on the right track. We're doing the habits that we need to do to create the success, and it's going to happen. So I love that. Absolutely love it. That's back to backs. Awesome.
Good.
Sherry's rose this week, consistent workouts. I think she sent me like a 6-day streak. Absolutely crushing it. Love that. Bud is hydration. I'm attached to my water bottle and continually filling it. Yay. Hell yeah. Awesome work. I love when you start to see those changes. And the biggest thing is when you notice it, right? When you're like, I'm not overly hungry all the time anymore because I'm drinking more water. I don't confuse hunger with thirst cues anymore. That's a beautiful thing. And then Thorn this week for Sherry was body pain, literally a pain in my butt and leg. Wanted to avoid cortisone, but the inflammation is so bad. Any ideas to combat inflammation are greatly appreciated. Okay,
So a couple of things nutritionally speaking.
go hard.
Want me to jump into that? So
Yep.
first thing I would do is reduce down any amount of sugar that you're having in your diet. We also want to make sure that we're staying away from saturated fats as well. So saturated fats and sugar are the two things that really do boost inflammation. I've been listening to a whole series on inflammation. And during my workouts, I've been listening to podcasts. I think there's a four series and I'm on the third one right now. And those are the biggest ones. The other things are looking at your level of recovery. So are you stretching? Are you doing hot and cold therapy?
What are your means of recovery?
Are you rolling it out, massage therapy? What are the other things that are taking place? I think sometimes we don't necessarily take care of what might be causing the pain versus just the pain. We think about, oh, I have the pain in this spot, but do I shift my weight and stand on a certain leg during the day, and that causes more inflammation on that leg because I'm putting more pressure and more time under tension on it. Like there's a lot of different things that could come into play here, but nutritionally speaking, I love that you've got the water kicking. I would definitely take a solid look at your any amount of sugar that you're having. And when I say sugar, guys, I don't mean just like, hey, I had a chocolate bar. I'm talking about like what other added sugars are you having? Do you add sugar to your coffee? Do you eat cereal? Do you eat muffins? People don't think about like, oh, I had a muffin or a bagel. I had a bunch of sugar.
Cream and sugar in your coffee is one of the biggest ones for a lot of people that doesn't get tracked or realized. And then once we start to do it, we have one of our clients in our transformation program take his coffee from a double down to just a normal, like a 1-in-1. And that was literally the only change he made. He lost like 10 pounds within
a couple weeks.
Yeah, like a month, not even. Yeah. So again, it was crazy to him. And part of that too, and this is the other part that I was going to mention for inflammation, part of it was just the dairy too. Turns out he has a mild lactose intolerance, but it doesn't really bug him that bad. But the intolerance in his body creates inflammation. When he's experiencing inflammation, there's more pain in his joints, there's more pain in his day-to-day movement. So the other portion of the nutrition side of the world is if you have any intolerances, and I don't mean like straight up allergies, like you're going to go into anaphylaxis. I mean, I'm sure that's bad too. But if you have dairy intolerance, if you have a soy intolerance, if you have a wheat intolerance or gluten intolerance,
corn, eggs,
and you are still allowing small amounts of those food into your diet, they do cause inflammation. So paying attention to the way we feel specifically about foods is why we love food tracking so much when we're looking for patterns of discomfort, right? I had one client that experienced chronic knee pain. He'd had it for years, didn't understand why. We took dairy out of his diet, his knee pain was gone. Like literally 3 years of knee pain gone because he just stopped having dairy. So start to pay attention, be the scientist.
The other piece of inflammation is stress. Stress causes inflammation. Any amount of stress.
Cortisol.
Whether that is mental stress, like from the head, or it's physical stress. Maybe that's from carrying weight on our body, like an excess amount of weight, or physical stress could be from our workouts if we're doing a lot of exercise.
What about our workstations? The way we sit at work, like Kayla was saying, the way you stand, the way you sit, it's important.
Yeah. So there's lots of other factors here that go into the inflammatory response in the body, but inflammatory response in the body is the body's response to trying to fix itself, to trying to stop something that is an invader, a foreign invader into the body from causing harm to the body. So it kind of tries to create this inflammatory response as a way to reduce down the harm, which we know that that's not necessarily the case of what takes place, but you've got to think on a cellular level of the changes those things might actually be serving.
Yeah. And the other portion of this, and I know, Sherry, we talked about this earlier this week. As soon as somebody tells me to have pain in their body, my brain goes to how can I fix this? So if anybody else out there listening to this podcast is saying, I experience body pain all the time. My back's sore, my knees are sore, but whatever is sore, shoulders, right? Like anything, let us know. If we don't know, we can't help you fix it. But But I promise you, the second you let us know, we're nerds for this stuff. We like to help people live a pain-free life. So let us know.
The other piece of that too is if you're local, we are more than happy to book an in-person session. If you're not local, we can book a virtual session just to see how your body moves. Let's get on a video, let's get in person, and let's do a movement assessment. Let's see how your body is moving, where your imbalances are, how your feet rotate, how your knees rotate, how do you stand in those hips? Because sometimes it's just body positioning and strengthening certain body parts to build them up that actually helps to reduce that pain in the body. I've taken people out of, or we have in general, taken many people out of back and hip pain, just simply from teaching them how to move their bodies better.
I had a client that was booked for shoulder surgery. We worked on their shoulders, and guess what? They canceled their shoulder surgery, and they now get to move pain-free. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. We've got lots of really good stories to share.
Let's go.
Okay. So yeah, Sherry, let us know if you want to do a movement assessment.
All right. Michelle's next with her, or I did the last one. You're up. No, you got
You're
this.
already on it.
Nope.
Okay, Michelle. Michelle says her rose. It's tough to say, but I'm eating more salads now and trying to get off the bran and added more fruit. With it being so damn hot, I know the carbs are higher in the fruits, but I don't feel stuffed and hot and soggy after watermelon.
I love watermelon too.
Especially when it's hot. So good. So good.
Not when the watermelon's hot, when it's hot outside.
Yeah, what hot watermelon would not be good. But just time and healing, I guess. I try to stay positive, even though that's very hard. And I look at the terrible crooked leg now. So she just got knee surgery. For anybody that needs context on that, we've been on a weight loss journey and we just got the surgery on her first knee. She's going to need a double knee replacement. So we are working our way through that. Thorn. Knowing that my leg is really fucked and crooked is weighing very heavily on my mind, and thinking they really fucked up my good leg has me very worried. I'm still trying to stay positive and not looking at it helps, but I consciously know this leg is very crooked now. I'm just in
putting in my time like it's San Quentin, and seriously, I'm thinking just to amputate this bitch at this point.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Well, I know since she wrote this, her and I have had a whole conversation on the phone, but
for everybody else out there, when you go through surgery, recovery is an absolute bitch, and I get that. I've been through many surgeries myself, many bone settings, because I've broken damn near every bone in my body. So I feel you. And the good news is once we heal, we can start to build the strength back in that. We can start to build the stability back in that. And you are going to have a full range of motion that we are going to absolutely crush. So I know that right now we are waiting because we have to wait. And I know that is nobody's favorite thing to do, especially someone who's as busy as you are. So I get the frustration behind it, but you are on the right track. We are on the right course, and we are absolutely going to crush this.
She's been busy with some beading and leather work, which is fantastic. Keep the hands busy and the mind going.
Yeah, 100%.
I always try to look for the silver lining here. And her and I had a whole conversation the other day about things happening for a reason, and sometimes this is just a great opportunity to learn to slow down and to learn to put ourselves first. And often when we are busy and we consistently push ourselves through the busyness of life, and this is something I'm speaking of from my own experience with my own struggle with busyness, is that sometimes we use the busyness as a way to distract ourselves from what's going on in the mind. And with this opportunity to heal and to have the downtime, it's a hard thing to tackle, but sometimes it's worthy to tackle the things going on in the mind so that we are set up for further success down the road.
Yep.
All right, we're getting to the week before.
Previous week, we are now, well, let's share it again. Consistent workouts. That's 2 weeks in a row. Crushing it.
Hydration.
Bud was hydration. Same. Love it. And Thorn, my hip causing knee pain. I want to say inflammation possibly. And this is exactly what we talked about from the following week. And now we do have those workouts put in place. So I'm excited to see next week, hopefully, that the hip and the knee are feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Michelle from the week before says she's still alive. I'm still here trying to stay positive. Thorn, the splint and physical pain are really aggravating me, and no relief it seems, but still just trying to make it to tomorrow. Positive outlook.
100%. All right, we got Casey next. Casey's Rose work is great, and once I work out, I feel great, so that's good. Bud, can't really think of a bud this week. I guess I'd say my eating has been pretty good this week. Awesome work. Thorn, my injury to my shoulder and elbow, can't figure out what I did. Must just be overuse, so I'm trying to work around it until it heals up. So I actually, again, Casey reached out because he was like, "Hey, my shoulder and elbow are absolutely gone right now. What can I do?" I built Casey new workouts, specific rehab workouts for his shoulder. And he sent me a message the other day and he's like, the pain's gone. The elbow's still bugging me a bit, but the pain in the shoulder, it has resolved. So again, if you're in pain, reach out. We got you. And awesome job getting those workouts in, Case, and working on it. Love it, buddy.
Mm-hmm. I got Christine. Christine says her Rose, well, I've had a good meal prep for the week, feeling less stressed than last week, but completed workout yesterday, not sore today. And I mean, come on, Christine, you're trained now, girl. You're trained. No more sore from workouts. Thorn, this heat, I feel like I was working out in a sauna. I would not envy that. Like, I love the heat, but like she's working in the field and doing a lot of farm chores and
We work
stuff.
in air conditioning and it still gets hot by the end of class.
I don't like working in air conditioning. I prefer to work outside.
You have never worked out. She has never worked a labor job in her life. She's never
I
been.
don't do labor
Her work
jobs.
outside is sitting in the garden.
I don't do labor jobs.
So she doesn't know what it's like to work outside, people. Don't worry. Don't get mad at her. I know what's up. Trust me. I'm with you guys.
I take my computer outside and work outside. I'm just saying.
All right. Last but not least, we got Willow. Willow's Rose this last week was I keep on moving on. I had a great workout Wednesday. Awesome work. I love when people have great workouts, but I'm more consistent in increasing my calories. I have a way to go. Love that too, right? Looking at the future and saying, hey, I'm on the path. I'm on the right way, and I keep doing it. So as a girl. Thorn, I'm struggling to eat enough, but learning about what I need to do. So when we are struggling to get enough calories in, we got to start looking at calorie dense items. If we are somebody that typically doesn't like to or doesn't feel good eating a ton of calories, eating like big meals, starting to look at what can we eat that's a little bit smaller, that's going to give us those calories we need with less effort.
So one of the things that Willow and I actually talked about, because her and I have been working together for a while, like a long time now, and getting calories up has always been a struggle. But what we realized was that she was hung up in I'm going to call it the finer details. So when we're first starting on a journey, we want to be, think of like being zoomed out, like
More is more.
More is more, right? And then as we get more refined, we start getting a little bit more refined. We start looking at macros, those kinds of things. And where we've gotten stuck a little bit is I want to eat healthy. So I only eat healthy foods, but when those healthy foods aren't available, I don't eat. Mm-hmm. And so since this week, that she gave this review, you'll notice that the week we just did, she said, hey, I'm getting more food in. And that was, I think, her Rose. And the thing was, I just want you to eat. Let's just get those calories up, because at the end of the day, eating 800 to 900 calories is not serving your metabolism. It's not serving your weight loss journey. It's not serving you to get to any amount of goal. Let's get those calories up. And the minute we did that, calories came up and there was a lot more quality nutrition, because she wasn't so fixated on, I can only eat these certain things. Yeah. It was, I'm going to make better choices, and here's what I'm going to do to get there.
Yeah, perfection is that piece that everybody strives for, but at the end of the day, perfection is a little bit of a fallacy, right? Like nobody's going to do everything absolutely perfect, and when we put that strain on ourselves, it really does just cause more stress. And when we are in a heightened stress state, then we have more cortisol running through our blood. When we have more cortisol running through our blood, it's harder to lose weight. So if we are on a weight loss journey and we are fixated on perfection, we're actually going to push ourselves further away from that or delay our success. So when we start to release that perfectionism, when we start to step into the gray instead of the black and white, is where we can start to see more success, because we're not so stringent with ourselves. We're not saying it has to be perfect. We're saying, I'm creating change, and I'm creating sustainable change. Mm-hmm. And sustainable change has to be something that you can do without stressing about it all day, every day. So absolutely awesome work in the last couple of weeks from what I'm hearing. And I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Yes. So guys, remember it is all a progress, looks different for each person. So one person's rose, one person's bud, one person's thorn might be different from your rose and bud and thorn, but they are all equally imperfect, moving towards a better direction. I wanted to share the message that we kind of learned today with our kids. We went mountain biking, and my son kept saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I looked at him and I said, you're the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. Every hill that he was challenged on, all you would hear is, I think I can. I think I can, all the way up. And there's some power within that positive affirmation. There's power within the ability to change to more positive self-talk. So the more you believe in yourself and you continuously tell yourself, I think I can, I guarantee you, you can. You're going to get there. It's empowering, it's motivating, and it's going to take you there. So keep with the positive self-talk. Keep focusing on those roses. Don't get stuck in the thorns. The thorns are the things that we're working on overcoming. They are part of the journey. They're part of our learning. Focus on the roses, the things that are going so good for you, and the things that are coming along, because those thorns one day are going to be buds, and those buds one day are going to become roses.
Yeah. And the other portion of this, guys, just when Kayla was saying that, it brings me back to the thought process of you don't get to fly with the eagles if you're cruising with the crows, I think is what Kayla's grandma said one time. So the quality of your company matters. When you are on a journey to improve your situation, improve whatever aspect of your life that you are looking to improve, make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that support your goal, that believe in you, and that are 100% behind you. We are those people for everybody that's watching this right now. So if you don't have those people in your corner, reach out to us. I would love to be that person in your corner. If you're training with us and we're already that person in your corner, you already know that we are the biggest cheerleaders for your success every day, day in and day out. So keep up the awesome work, guys.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you join us again in 2 weeks for our next set of rosebud thorns.
Have an awesome day, guys.
Bye.